Alright, time to pick another... What?! They're all gone! My DVDs! They're gone! Who the fuck took them? The fuck? There's a note. Dear Daryl, we have stolen your DVDs. Okay, it doesn't say why, but whatever. We will return them to you momentarily. Thank you for your patience. Okay, oh wait. P.S. We would like you to review the movie Porno Holocaust? No! No, strange people! Ah, fuck. What am I gonna watch now? I guess I'm gonna have to go for the secret stash. Oh dear. I never thought I would have to do this. Christ. So many burnt DVDs. Oh man. Let's just pick a few and see what the fuck they are. Right, let's see what I got here. No. 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 God, no. What's this? Pulgasari. That North Korean monster movie? Oh well. You know how most people are worried that North Korea is going to build more nuclear weapons? Well, I'm more worried that they're going to keep making movies like this. This movie was bad. I mean, it was bad. I mean, the thing is that, you know, it was a movie, if I'm honest, going into it, I expected to have fun with it. I expected it to be, you know, at least a bit entertaining. But it was boring. It is one of the most boring movies I've ever seen. And it's a fucking monster movie. How is that possible? How is it possible to make a monster movie boring? I wrote a list. 2 pages. Filled with problems. There are 1 or 2 positive points down here, but we're gonna go through the negatives because this is gonna take a while. Number 1, which is probably the biggest problem with the movie. Very little in the movie is explained. Almost nothing is explained. It is incredibly confusing in many places. For example, a woman gets kidnapped off screen. We don't know when the fuck she got kidnapped, and, you know, for whatever reason. And she gets kidnapped, and it turns out the reason she was kidnapped was because they wanted to torture her for information on where her oldest son is. See, who is her son, and why the fuck are they looking for him? And also, we never even knew that this woman had a son until this point. We saw this woman a little bit before in the movie, but all she did was run up to people crying and telling them shit that just happened. We don't know shit about this woman. Nothing about her is explained. Another really bizarre scene that's not really sort of explained is another scene where someone gets kidnapped off screen. This old man gets kidnapped off screen, and then they're torturing him to find out the location of this steel that they've hidden, and then he gets thrown into jail. And then also it turns out a shitload of other people got kidnapped. Why were they kidnapped? When were they kidnapped? What was the point? The basic of questions at that point was not answered, and that's a huge fucking problem. Not answering simple questions that you expect when you watch a fucking movie. Another thing which isn't explained, well, at least not instantly, is this. When the old man is dying in the prison, he makes this little model of the monster, right? That we know as Pulgasari. But how did he make it? What did he make it out of? And we don't know how he made it, and later in the movie, we get the explanation saying that he made it out of rice. But how the fuck did that guy know that it was made out of rice? He wasn't even in the fucking prison at the time. How does he know? And not only that, it doesn't even look like it was made out of rice. So how would anyone ever know that something like that was made out of rice? This makes no sense. Problem number 2. I can't believe that was only one problem. Problem number 2. The characters are not, once again, you know, they're not really explained. They're not developed. Nothing about them is clear. For example, we have the main woman of the movie named Amy, I think her name is. I can't remember. Something along those lines. And throughout the movie, all she does is get water, cook, and speak to the monster. That's all she fucking does. And it's like, apparently she has control over the monster, like because when her blood was dropped onto the thing that made it come alive, and it's like, all right, so that's about it. But every other character is just meh. They're all just there. You know, it's like they're just all there, and all they do, and majority of the time, all the other characters do, is just moan about the government, saying, wee, 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 the government is stupid, wee, 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 I don't want to do this anymore, wee, 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 we gotta go fight them again, wee, wee, wee. It's the same old shit. The acting, also, in some places, is not too bad, but you know, like in some places, like it's very overdone. In many places, it's overacted ridiculously. Like, for example, one of the guys, I think it's the general of the government's army or something like that, and his performance, he acts like, you know, he literally talks like that. I mean, I can't speak Korean, so I don't know what the fuck. But you know, it's like he basically talks like that the whole movie, and it's kind of weird. And everybody else really just is there. They don't really do much. I mean, their performances for the most part are okay, but they're just, you know, because the characters aren't really all that interesting and not really all that developed, it gets really, you know, kind of dull. And I think the main reason why the characters aren't really developed a lot is because whenever there's a scene not involving fighting or the monster, they're just sort of sitting around chillaxing and talking about the government, or cooking, or getting water, or hanging out by a river. That's all they do. They don't really have any development. We don't know anything about any of the characters. There's no backstories for any of them. And there's nothing interesting about them. They're just there. Problem number 3. The monster, for one thing, like, the monster itself doesn't actually come alive until about 25 minutes into the movie. And when it does, it's only about, like, this size. And then, when it does come alive, 5 minutes later, it fucks off. It eats some steel and fucks off. We don't see it for another, 15 minutes. And then 15 minutes later we see it, and it's grown a little bit. And you don't actually, hang on. No, not 15. 20 minutes later, we see the creature, you know, again, and he's bigger, he's about human size. But then you don't see him full monster size attacking people until about 50 minutes into the movie. So the rest of the time, without the monster, is all filler and all stupidity. Which brings me to the next point. The story is fucking all over the place, and it really makes no sense. It's basically like these government officials come by to a bunch of farmers to take their farming equipment away because they want to use steel for weapons, but the farmers won't have that because they need their equipment to do farming so that they can get food and, you know, live. And the reason why they took the steel to make weapons was because there was rumoured to be an attack on the government house soon by some gang. This gang is never mentioned again, the attack is never brought up again, and nothing like that. These people never attack the place. Instead, they just wind up fighting the farmers for the rest of the fucking movie. And if you think about it, the fights are utterly pointless. It's like, why are they fighting? There's no reason for them to be fighting anymore. They took the steel to make weapons to fight against a gang of people that never showed up. So they can give the fucking farming equipment back to them because they don't fucking need it. And if they have a shortage of weapons, how are they managing to fight off a huge army of farmers? Another problem. Some of the music in places just feels really out of place. And it's just bizarre. Like, when the let me think. Like, when the monster first comes alive, it's just weird. It's like they're playing this weird music like meh, 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 meh. So, and it's like, how the hell does that fit in? Is this meant to be comic relief music? Are you trying to make me laugh? Well, it's not working. This movie is clearly meant to be taken seriously, right? Another problem with the movie is that it is so slow. Very little happens in the movie until about maybe 45 or 50 minutes in, when shit starts happening. And when it starts happening, it's like, it's just average, you know, you don't really care by that point. You're so bored. You just want the movie to just get shit over with, you know, and it's just so slow and tedious. And the monster doesn't really start doing anything until about 50 minutes into the movie, like I said. So, halfway through the movie, you're gonna forget you're watching a fucking monster movie. But really, that's all the flaws that I can really think of, you know, and, you know, wrote down on my list that I can remember at the moment. However, there are one or two positive things I can gather from this movie. Number one, the monster costume is actually very good. It's very well made, it's very well put together, you know, and it looks very good, you know. And oddly enough, the guy who was in the costume portrayed Godzilla from 1985 to about 1995, I think it was. For about, he had a 10-year period. He played Godzilla in the Toho movies. So they knew they had a good guy doing it. The miniature sets are very good as well. I gotta give them credit, they built some very good miniature sets. And the scenes of the monster destroying stuff, you know, stomping and attacking, they're alright, but the thing is that they're few and far between. There's only, actually, if I'm not mistaken, about maybe 2 or 3 scenes where the monster is attacking and destroying shit. All the other stuff just involves the army, and it's like, I don't care about the army. It's a fucking monster movie. I want to see the monster destroying some shit. It's just annoying. But once again, that's really all the positive stuff I can say about the movie, because the rest of the movie, like I said, was a load of shite. So, it makes little to no sense, the music is out of place, the acting is really not that good in some places, and in some places it's just meh, the characters aren't explained, and it's just slow and boring. If you're going to watch this movie, just skip to where the monster starts attacking shit, because the rest is bollocks. Thank you for watching this episode of Dragon Cast Movie Vault. I am lost for words at the moment, so I'm just going to go. See ya.